Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Kentuckiana Travel Ball Podcast. Today's podcast is brought to you by GuardianBaseball.com, where you can shop for top baseball and softball gear. They are locally owned, free shipping, free returns. If you use the code Kentuckiana Travel Ball, you get an additional 15% off. Let me say that again. If you go to Guardian Baseball and use Kentuckiana Travel Ball, you get an additional 15% off. Pretty cool. Also today, we have an Oakley giveaway we're doing. So Guardian is sponsored an Oakley sunglasses giveaway. So what I'm going to do is I'll put a link in all of the descriptions for all of the podcast, and you can go there and register for an Oakley giveaway. Yeah, so the 15% off, people.
Yeah, what a deal.
Yeah, use it. Kentuckiana Travel, kind of cool.
Are we able to get those sunglasses?
Yeah.
I want some sunglasses.
Put your name in, man. All right, so our special guest today is the Southern Indiana Stars 11U coach, Bryan Hargett. What's up, Bryan?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Man, thank you for being here. So a couple things. Bryan, why don't you start with your baseball background, because I know it's pretty extensive.
Yeah. So obviously played 4 years of college baseball, played 2 years at Danville area community college in Illinois. And then I played 2 years at IU Southeast. Graduated in 2003 from Jeffersonville, Indiana, right across the bridge from Louisville. So played all my high school career there. And I've been coaching ever since I got out of playing. So I stayed on as an assistant at IU Southeast, coached with Joe Decker, who is now the head coach at Silver Creek.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed on with him, did that for 3 years, and then I transitioned to high school, coached at Jeffersonville for 1 year. And then I started a family. So had to kind of get out of coaching for a little bit. But, once my son was able to play ball and get into travel ball, then that's when I picked it back up. So,
well, let me say this, Bryan. You guys, obviously, we've had some battles with you guys in the past, but your particular Southern Indiana Stars team, you guys do it the right way. We've always been impressed with how you guys play, how you guys warm up. Everything that you guys do, and we've had some battles, but it's always been cordial. So we've remained friends over the years. With a ton of respect for what you guys do out there.
Yeah, really appreciate that, and we feel the same way about the Wolves organization and others as well. So we appreciate that.
Well, Bryan, when I saw that you guys took this trip to Branson, Missouri, to the Ballparks of America, it just kind of clicked in my head. I was like, you know what, we have to have Bryan on because that's one of those things where I've looked at it online. It looks super cool.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know a ton about it, but I was hoping maybe you could break that down for our listeners. For some of these,
enlighten us.
For some of these coaches, parents that are thinking about potentially doing this trip, is it worth it? Pros and cons. If you could kind of break that down for us, that'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, sure. This trip is definitely worth it. It was super awesome. I call it the Little League World Series of travel ball experience. Now we did the 3-day event, which is a 4-game guaranteed. They do have a weekly event. It is going to be more money, obviously, but we went on and did the 3-day event.
Is that just a weekend, like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Or?
Yes, it was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The price is a little expensive. We paid $5,200 at $520 per player. Now you can do an early bird special if you have all your money and everything ready by December 31st. It's like $360 or something like that a kid. So you can do that. Unfortunately, the way we do it, we fundraise. So, we start our season in the fall. We do a player fee of $400 to $500, depending on, how many players we have. And then we fundraise the rest of our money, and all that fundraising goes towards our tournaments, for U-Trip, and then also our big trips, as well as paying for our facilities. Right. So we do a lot of fundraising with that. So it can be expensive. It just depends on, do you have the money, to pay for the early bird special to get in, or do you need to wait a little bit longer? And unfortunately, we waited a little bit longer, but it was well worth it. They do feed you 3 meals a day.
So food's included?
Food is included with that.
For the players and coaches, or
players and coaches. Players and coaches get breakfast, lunch, and you can eat dinner there too if you want.
Could you stay on premise, right?
Yes. So we do. They put you up in a suite there. It's like a dormitory suite. It used to be a shopping center, like an outlet mall. So they built the ballparks right there at the shopping center. So it's pretty cool. So you walk right out to the fields. You got everybody has their own bunk bed, and then you have your own private showers. You have a pro style locker room, which is pretty cool. Got their name and number on it. You hang your backpacks.
That's awesome.
wow.
gear
Our kids
and
would get into that.
Yeah. And of course, the 5 Major League Baseball replica fields that are all turf. You've got Boston, like Fenway with the Green Monster.
Okay.
You've got Chicago with
the ivy on the wall.
The ivy on the fence.
Oh, sweet.
You've got St. Louis is like a stadium seat, which is pretty cool. And it's got Brooklyn, the old Ebbets Field, and then
Sure.
Kansas City. So all really super nice fields. Our kids absolutely loved it. They leave the lights on until like midnight. So after all the games, you can go out there with your families and the players. And we played wiffle ball and, had tennis ball and just, had so much fun out there. So it was really, I highly recommend it. If you haven't experienced it, it's a trip that you need to go. You need to do it. It's only
What was the roundabout cost?
So it was $5,200, and that includes.
So they just charge the team, not per player. So I guess you
Correct.
had 10 players and you just split it up 10 ways.
Exactly. So
Okay.
I had 10 players, and it was $520 per player. So it cost us $5,200, and like I said, that includes our stay,
Right.
and the 3 meals, and
But-
then the 4-game guarantee, which we ended up playing 7 games. So
Yeah.
it was well.
You
worth
got your
it.
money's worth. So the
Yes, we did.
players and the coaches stay on premises. So the parents are they on their own for their own rooms? I mean,
Correct. Now that is correct. So
Okay.
yes, the players and coaches all stay in the dorms, and then a mile down the road, all the hotels are there, and the parents stayed in the hotels. So and they just drive over, which is like I said, it's right next to the field, so
Sure.
it's only a mile down the road. But yeah, they do have to pay for their own hotel.
gotcha.
Man, it sounds like a pretty good deal.
Unless you have more money and you want to pay for that out of your budget, But that's how we did it.
Right.
So let's talk fundraising. What has been the most successful fundraiser for you guys?
So we had a couple this year that were really big. We did the golf. We do a golf scramble every year in the fall, and that brings in $4,000 to $5,000.
Nice.
Just all about getting the sponsors, and they sponsor the holes, and
Gotcha.
So it does very
How many
good.
teams you get?
We usually get about 14 to 15 teams.
That's pretty good, man.
Usually do pretty good with it.
What are you charging per person to play?
We charge 75.
Okay.
75 a person, so a team of 4 is like 300.
Yeah, and you're probably paying, 30, 40 to the course?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And includes the food and everything.
Mhm.
So we do the golf scramble in the fall, and then this year we did a Yeti cooler raffle with a bunch of alcohol, gift cards, things like that, and that actually raised about $4,500. So we did really well there. And then you throw in your Super Bowl squares, your March Madness brackets. You're making a couple thousand on those. So, we usually raise about 10,000 every year.
Wow.
And then, we have to pay obviously for our facilities. We use Ellis Baseball Academy in
Okay.
Jeffersonville.
Yeah.
We pay for that. And then we use Silver Street in New Albany for all defensive purposes. And that's 1 day a week. And we have to pay for that facility as well. So, so the money goes. We do good raising it, but we are
You definitely
we're
spend
completely we're completely out now. Everything's paid for, and we're out. And we only have 3 tournaments left. So,
No, 3's more than most. A lot of people are kind of shutting it down here at the end of, kind of mid to end June.
yeah. Now we have our World Series this year. We're playing in E-Town for the youth baseball nationals.
Nice.
And that's $1,200 right there.
Yep.
So a lot of tournaments this year were expensive because of the Branson trip, the World Series, playing in the state tournament, things like that. So little bit more expensive this year. So we did, we had two really big fundraisers with the golf scramble and the Yeti cooler.
Pretty awesome, man. Look, fundraising's been one of those things where, so as an organization, as the Wolves teams, it's not something they normally do. You know, they just kind of charge per kid. And if they want to fundraise per team, that's perfectly acceptable. We've done a little bit. We did a league this year that helped us a tiny bit, but not a lot. But, fundraising is not something we've gotten into that deep. Certainly should do a golf scramble, being that that's my background.
Yeah,
but
Mr. Golf Guy.
Yeah, I know. But, that's one of those things that we need to figure out how to do better kind of for our organization, our parents. But
especially if we want to take a trip like that.
Exactly, man, because you have to fundraise a trip like that.
I mean, that's a big one.
All right, so our topic this week, this is what I want to discuss with you, Bryan and Rick. So roster batting is our big topic this week. So what was interesting, so we played in the state tournament this past weekend, and we have 11 kids on our Wolves 11U roster. The entire year, I have roster batted every single game. There's never been a game that I have subbed. One game, one kid was sick. That was it. We have roster batted the entire time. I see some advantages in that. So if it's hot, obviously I've got kids saying, hey, I need a break, and you can kind of move kids around, free subs. You don't have to worry about in and out and batting lineup and all that kind of stuff. But this past year, we had 13. And roster batting 13 was difficult. And I know when we see a team that's batting 13 kids, we're licking our chops.
Yeah,
we're like, all right, yeah, well, good luck. Good luck.
Team's crazy.
Yeah, good luck beating us with batting 13. Right. Bryan, what's your feelings on roster batting?
I think in pool play, we have 10 kids, so we bat everybody. I think in pool play, definitely, I think you should bat everybody. But when it comes to bracket play, if you're all 10 or all 11 or all 12 or all doing well hitting, then I think you're fine. If you've got a team that can hit 1 through 12, consistently, I think you're fine. But if you got a couple kids that are struggling a little bit, then Sunday is bracket play, and it's win or go home. So, I think, batting 9 or batting 10 and using that substitution would help your team. I think that's the right thing to do.
So would you judge that on a week-to-week basis? Like, this kid's kind of struggling this week, or this kid's hot, and this kid might need a week or two to get a hold of himself?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you're the coaches. I think you can decide and talk to your assistant coaches about it and put a game plan in place. We've done in the past, we've had 12 in the past, and I've even utilized DHing, having the one kid play the field that's got a great glove, but he's not swinging it so well. So I've used the DH in there. So we've done that. I've done that at 9U and I've done that at 10U. And some people may not agree with that, but when it comes to bracket play, and if it fits your team, that's the way we're rolling with it.
Now, how do the kids handle that? Like, how does the kid handle? I'm going to play the field, but I can't bat. How does the kid handle
because you say you're struggling, and I'm with Rick here. So you say, okay, kid's struggling. So let's say that you're not doing a league, or this kid's not doing anything else but your team. How do they hit out of it? How do they get that back on the right track if they're not in the lineup?
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. I think that, I think it does, get them down a little bit. I think, we do have conversations with those kids, and we've had conversations with those parents, but, I think it's just, this is the direction we're going. This is a coach's decision. We do practice, so we're not one of these teams that don't practice. So we practice every week. So we get back to work at it, and we continue to work in the cages and continue to work with drills and things like that. So we're just completely honest with them.
Communication, that's the key, right?
Yeah,
and I want to stress this to coaches that may be kind of new to this. Communication. The more you communicate with your parents, the better off things are going to be in the long run. If you're upfront about where you're at, if you're upfront about, hey, this is why your kid's doing this is what I'd like to see your kid do if he wants to improve or get more reps, get more time, move up in the batting order. I've utilized that a lot, and I haven't had a whole lot of trouble with it. Now, last year was a little bit different with the set of parents we had, but this year we've communicated a ton, and it's been all gravy. It's been great.
Well, eventually it's going to be on the kids when they get a little older. It's going to be on the kids to say, "Hey, coach, what do I need to do to get better?" These we're dealing with 11-year-olds, and that's kind of tough for them.
It is.
But once you get a little older, it's the parents are kind of.
It's all about communication. All right, Bryan, last question here, and then I'm actually going to, two more things, and then I'm going to let you go. So when you were in Branson, Missouri at the Ballparks of America, and I know you guys have traveled quite a bit, actually. I know you did the Pigeon Forge thing earlier in the season. Sorry, my phone's ringing in there. What is the competition level like? So when you guys go down there, you guys are a really great team for our area, right? One of the top 11-year-old teams. Do you feel like, okay, now we're playing this team from wherever it may be and we're getting stomped because they're playing year round? Or do you find you guys to be competitive no matter where you go?
It's been really good because we're seeing a lot of teams from different states, but the competition has been great and we've competed really well. So I'm really, really pleased with how we've done. And I think that just gives credit to all the Southern Indiana teams and the Louisville area teams that we have great competition here. And when we go there, we went to Pigeon Forge and we went 1-1 in pool play. We beat a AAA team from North Carolina. And then we go in bracket play and we play a major team from Alabama and we lose 9-8. So, and they were really good. We just played right with them and, they made some mistakes and, that happens. But I think it's just a credit to, the talent that we have here. We have a lot of great baseball here in Southern Indiana, Louisville area. And, when we play teams from this area, it just gets us prepared when we go out of state. When we went to Branson, we played, we ended up beating 2 AAA teams, Mississippi Revolution and Arkansas Warriors, and they were great teams. And you're thinking, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, teams that are down south.
Yeah, that played 130 games.
Oh, yeah. We ran into a team there, the Arkansas team that already played 52 games,
right?
Already. So, we're thinking, these teams are going to be legit. And they were good. We faced a kid that was 6 foot that was throwing gas, but it was 2-2 ball game, and he had to come out in the 5th inning, because he threw too many pitches. So we ended up beating them 5-2. But you see, I think it just prepares you, from where we're playing at here in Southern Indiana and the Louisville area. The competition's good, but we're prepared for that because we're playing good baseball here too.
Yeah, iron sharpens iron, right? And I feel like we are all kind of making each other better because we're beating each other up on a weekly basis. But when we go play in one of these events out of town, it seems to be that these Louisville and these Southern Indiana teams do really well because of the local competition.
Yeah, I think it's. I think it's. You have to look at. The competition. What are they rated? I think if we're facing the AAA teams from the South, you're going to run into really good teams. And that's what we did. We did run into a team that was not very good first game of bracket play in Branson, but they were from Colorado. They were a double A team from Colorado, and we pounded them 15-0 in 3 innings. They were not very good, but look where they're playing at. They're from Colorado, so
playing in the
but
snow.
The South teams
might have been their first tournament of the year.
The Arkansas teams, the Mississippi teams, the Tennessee team that we ran into in the championship game, they were AAA. They beat us 8-4. The Memphis Tigers, they were really good. I know they played the Strikers team that's around here a couple times. So
yeah, I've seen that Memphis Tigers team come here locally.
Yeah, they've come here a few times.
Yeah, the programs ran really well. They have a major team and a AAA team. So in the 11U division, but we faced the AAA team, and they were good. So, but it was 4-4 game going into the 5th. We played right with them, and we just ran out of gas, I think. But no, I think it's just I think you're going to run into some good teams, and I think you're going to run into some teams like from Colorado or maybe North Carolina or somewhere else that may not be. They may be rated AA or AAA, but they may be at your level.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, Bryan, last question here. I'm going to let you go. Favorite drill? What is a drill that you feel like every coach should utilize one way or another?
We utilize my favorite drills is the double fungo drill. I hit a lot of fungos to my team. We do a lot of ground balls. We struggled 9U and 10U with making errors a lot, so we really just started hitting a lot of ground balls to them and working on fielding. So I have a coach, another coach that hits fungos, and myself, and we do that double fungo drill where we have the bucket set up at each bag, and we start out, like I'll hit the third will go to first, and then he'll hit the short will go to second. They're not turning, they're working on their footwork, working on transition and turning double plays, but they're putting it in the bucket, and then we'll just kind of rotate that. The next session I'll go, I'll hit the second will work on their double play feeds. They'll work on flips and they'll work on pivots, and then first base maybe working on double plays. So we do a lot of ground ball repetition like that. So it gets them, everybody's involved. It's a good workout, but it also works on your fielding. So
now, do you hit to the outfield at all, or is that all just ground balls?
We do the outfield separate.
Okay.
But all 10 of my players have
infield.
They have their primary position and then their secondary position in case of injuries or if we're moving people around a little bit, so everybody can play. So I'll have 2 people at third, 2 people at short, 2 people at second, 2 people at first, and then we'll go into that double fungo drill, and everybody gets reps that way.
No,
and they learn how to, so they have their primary and secondary positions.
No, I like it. Bryan, I can't thank you enough for your time today, man. We really appreciate it. I'm sure we'll see you on the diamond here soon.
Hey, good luck.
Absolutely.
You got state this weekend, right?
Yes, sir. We play 6:00 and 8:00 in Columbus, Indiana.
What was your draw?
We appreciate it. We got a really good draw. There are 5 single A teams in it, so we actually drew 2 of them.
Oh, wow.
And I think it's probably and I don't know how I still have not figured out how U-Trip does their draws, but we are number 1 in points.
Yep.
Maybe that has something to do. So we got a 6:00 and 8:00 game. So that's we don't have to. And that's on Friday, so we don't have to drive up early in the morning. So I think maybe because we're number 1 in points, we got a good draw. But there are some really good teams in it, and we're looking forward to playing in it. So I appreciate you guys having me.
Awesome. Thanks, Bryan. We'll talk to you soon, man.
Thanks, guys.
See you later.
All right, Rick, what I want to do now is we're just coming off of the state tournament for Kentucky teams, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to run down a little bit of the list of some of the champions and kind of go over a little bit of the state tournament. If you know any about any of these teams or any of these games, kind of chime in here. So the 9U state champions for the Opium was the Vipers 9U Reynolds, which I've heard a ton about.
I've heard really good things about them.
I mean, I think those guys are just some studs. So they beat the Southern Madison County Sluggers in the championship game. And I think that was from what I'd heard from the U-Trip guys who were in here the other night, that was a great game. The AA winner was the 9U Louisville Sting over the South Gibson Heat.
Okay.
I think that was a great game, but so the Sting's got a great organization, and you're going to hear their name throughout a bunch of these.
I'm sure.
A bunch of these different champions here. All right, in the Open 10U, the EKY Crusaders won over the New Albany Lightning. Now, my pick for the Open 10U was Vipers Hammonds, and so what I heard. Well, what I heard was the EKY Crusaders used their stud pitcher, which John Alvey was saying throws harder than anybody he's seen at age level.
He said he throws 60, 65.
Yeah. And so
huge.
They beat Vipers Hammonds by 1 run.
Okay.
And
I'm sure it was a great game.
I'm pretty sure that was kind of like the championship game. I don't know. I think New Albany Lightning's really good too.
New Albany Lightning, I think they won the tournament the week before. So I mean, I think they're legit as well. So
yeah, they've got to be.
That's probably a pretty good division there.
Yeah, it's got to be. So Vipers Hammonds went down, but I'm sure they will revenge that somehow or another. AAA, the Louisville Hornets, who I was also told by
the worst team in pool play, right?
The worst team in pool play. And they actually got upset about that, by the way. So apparently one of the dads was upset.
I heard there's going to be T-shirts made.
Yeah, one of the dads was upset. And I don't know if they said something to John or Sean or somebody, but they were kind of upset. But, I mean, they dominate on Sundays. So that's what matters, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So they won AAA. And also they were just moved from AAA to Major.
Oh, okay.
So they got bumped.
All right.
And then the AA champion was the Louisville Stars. I think that's like a J-Town area team.
Yeah, I think most of those kids came from the J-Town Rec Ball League. I know at least one kid on that team. Yeah, I think they're just a solid team. Solid team that keeps continually getting better and better each day.
And obviously, I've heard a lot about that 10U Louisville Stars team, and I think they'll probably be AAA pretty quick because they keep doing really well in a lot of these different tournaments. All right, and in 11U, which was our division, the Ohio Heat beat Vipers Floyd 4-3, which must have been a heck of a game.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then Vipers Floyd beat Strike 5-4 the game before that. So man, there were some battles.
I wish I would have been able to watch those games.
Oh, there were some battles. Now, and I tell you what, I'm gonna have to shift my allegiance, not allegiance, but my thinking here a little bit. You know, I went to high school with Chris Burke, and Chris and I are really good friends. Cameron Hahn's got a boy on that team. I mean, that the Vipers Floyd team is legit.
Yeah.
And I'd always kind of felt like Tig had the better squad there because I think they were a little bit better when they were a little bit younger. But it looks like Vipers Floyd may
the last couple of times. I think Floyd's got him.
It looks like they may have been kind of moving into that spot. Tig Brown may have something to say about that at some point. And I ran into Tig over the weekend, and he was a little bit frustrated with the shortstop at the time, so we didn't talk much.
Yikes.
But we'll have Tig on at some point to kind of talk about how their season's been. Again, trust me, Strike is.
I love his shortstop.
He can
come play for me any day.
Yeah, his shortstop might be the best player in 11U around. Yeah. He's got a few great players on that team, but Tig's going to be on the podcast at some point to kind of talk about what they've done. In AAA, the NV Stars beat the Black Mambas in another great game, 10-9.
Yeah, two solid teams for sure.
I don't understand why the NV Stars didn't go after the Open.
Well,
they
I
had
tell you
beat.
What, I've seen it beginning of the year. They were AA.
Yeah,
I mean they were in a AA tournament
they
with
were,
us,
weren't they?
I don't know how they were AA because they've always been AAA.
Oh, they've always been a great team. Well, I saw them beat Vipers Floyd in a team in Florence, in a game in Florence, in the championship game. I mean, that
was a
NV
great
Stars
game.
game is absolutely legit.
Yeah, they got a couple. They got a kid that's probably 6 foot tall.
Yeah, and throws gas, and I feel like they could compete in that Open division. But your AAA Stars, we're AAA champions are NV Stars, and then AA, which was the division we played in, the Kentucky Thunder beat the Southern Kentucky Aces 8-2.
Kentucky Thunder from Lexington.
Yeah,
I think there's a couple of Thunder.
There's one from Paducah. Yeah. So this is the Lexington one, and they beat Louisville Elite, which we have a ton of respect for, who we think's a great team and a good game.
Yeah.
We I don't know. We lost because of a bad coaching move, I feel like, on my part. We had a game one down to our last out, actually, in defense, and then gave up one to let them tie. Then we had bases loaded with my fastest kid on third and couldn't get him in to win at the bottom of the seventh. So we ended up losing.
Had to go extra innings.
Yeah,
anything can happen in extra innings. They put that guy on second. And
we gave it away there a little bit, but that was a coaching error. All right, so in 12U, the AAA was the Louisville Legends, that's Spencer Grader's team. They won 4-3 over the Red Bulls baseball. Legends beat the team that I thought was going to win, which was the Wild Things.
Wild Things, yeah.
Man,
Wild Things were playing great.
That team is so good. They got an immense amount of swag. They've had over 60 home runs this season.
That's incredible.
Isn't that nuts?
That's
at 12 years
insane.
old, it's just crazy. They've had over 60 home runs. But
so that's
team,
not just one kid that's carrying your team, offensively. That's the whole team being able to hit, right?
And it is, and I feel like they have the best shortstop at that age division. But hey, I haven't seen that Louisville Legends team play. I know Spencer Grader was a great player in his own right, and I know that he's a great coach. So I'm sure that's
They're
a great team.
Good. I mean,
well, and Legends, that St. Matthew's club, they've got a lot of talent to pull from there. So that's obviously a good team. In AA, the East Kentucky Ballhawks won 7-6 over the Kentucky Storm. And then you get into 13U. The Open was the Indiana Spikes over the Paducah Storm. AA was the Commonwealth Grays. They beat Commonwealth Grays Black. Excuse me. They beat the Kentucky Prospects.
Okay.
And then in 14U, the Open was the Razorbacks baseball over Sting. And then the AA was the BG Bruins over the OL Cardinals. So
it sounds like a bunch of Kentucky teams. That's good. I think I only heard, one Ohio team?
Yeah. That's a really good point.
Because even though it's the Kentucky State Tournament, it still draws in people from, teams from surrounding states, Indiana, Illinois.
Yep.
Ohio, obviously, Tennessee, stuff like that. So,
all right,
and
Rick,
Michigan, there was a team from Michigan.
We're going to end with some strange baseball rules to see if you know the rules here.
Probably not.
Okay. Can you use your hat to catch a ball?
I don't see why not.
There's a strange rule in baseball that makes it illegal to manipulate the ball in any way with any part of your uniform. This includes the most often used pieces like your hat.
So you said illegal?
Illegal. You're not allowed to use your hat. Nope.
I'm thinking you can catch it with anything.
So the rule was put in place to keep fielders from being able to throw their glove or hat at the ball that was flying at them. So this seemed to be unfair, and players were trying it all the time. So like the ball was way up in the air, so they'd throw something up to try to knock it down.
Yeah, okay.
So you cannot use your hat.
Do that. Yeah.
So let's see. The penalty for affecting the ball through uniform, the hitter and all runners on base get a free base. So that's a big penalty. Do not use your hat to try to catch the ball.
I mean, you can use your shirt essentially. You know, it hits you in the chest.
Yeah, but apparently it can't get stuck in there. So here's the next question. So this is a little bit in this vein. If a foul ball or a pitch gets stuck in the catcher's mask, what happens?
I'm gonna just say it's a dead ball, probably. You know, this is off of a pitch or like off of a hit. You know,
if it gets period.
I think I would say it's a dead ball.
If the ball gets stuck in any part of the catcher's gear, it is considered a dead ball, and all the base runners move up a base.
They still get a base?
They get a base.
Huh.
How wild is that? So if it gets stuck in your catcher's mask.
Just in the mask.
Any part of the catcher's gear.
I haven't seen that happen before.
I haven't either, but any part of the catcher's gear.
Okay.
Kind of wild, huh? And then this one seems pretty easy, but hopefully. Can the pitcher spit on the baseball? No, right. No. Obviously not. I think
spitball, right?
Yeah, spitball. I mean, obviously that's something that pitchers tried back in the day, but
there's a big thing in the MLB now with people putting the pine tar in their glove, and I guess everybody's been doing it for so long, and now they're worried that if they stop letting them do it, pitchers will lose control and they'll start hitting batters more.
Really?
But yeah, they put that little pine tar and they touch it and get the grip on the ball better. But you're not supposed to.
Interesting.
It was one of those things that you're not supposed to, but they knew it was going on, and they still let them. And now it's been going on so long that.
So wait a minute. So you're saying that this has been going on in the MLB, and they've allowed that to happen?
Pretty much. That's what I'm reading into it.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay. All right. Well, Rick, this was a fun one. We want to thank Bryan from from the Southern Indiana Stars for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, Bryan.
He's a great coach. Has a ton of knowledge. And
good dude. So, formed a friendship with him.
We have.
We have. Baseball.
We have. And it sounds like if you get an opportunity and you want to make that investment to go to Branson, Missouri and play in that Ballparks of America, it sounds like it's worth the trip.
Yeah, we might look into that.
I think we should. By the way, Guardian Baseball does team sales. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a person that you can DM if you want any sort of team sales. So if you want to uniforms, gear, whatever it may be, you can get 15% off by using our special code from our Travel Ball podcast.
And
so
hook your team up.
We want to thank Guardian Baseball for sponsoring us and powering this podcast. We will give you all the information. Don't forget Oakley giveaway.
I want the Oakleys.
Hey, I don't know, man. We have some inside track there. All right, thank you for listening. We'll see you guys. Hey, we're going to be in Panama City next week.
Are we going to do a show from the beach?
I think so. I think we're going to figure that out.
Awesome.
I think we're going to figure that out. We will be with you next week from the beach. All right. Peace.